Bonjour everyone. Another lovely night in Paris. Just got back from dinner, had the duck. And one of the things you really start to notice after, I guess, traveling through a few countries in Europe, just how uniquely different all their cuisines can be. Obviously there's influences of each other throughout the countries, but yeah, it's been really amazing to see, like, in France, for instance, quite often the portions are a little bit smaller, but they're very rich in flavour. One of the things I've also noticed is that, like, the bread serving comes out the same time as the main, where, at least in Australia, quite often they'll serve the bread while they're cooking the food for you, basically so you have something to do while you wait for them to cook. And one of the things you do actually notice is how long sometimes those mains can take to come out. So in the absence of having that bread to kind of like distract you from the food cooking, you kind of notice, hang on, the food takes a little while. Then you go to somewhere like Malta, where the servings are quite large. The meals are usually quite hearty, quite I guess heavy, but equally as delicious. And then you go somewhere like England, where it's a bit like meh. And I guess I can say that because obviously a lot of the Australian sort of main dishes, traditional dishes, are heavily influenced by British and Irish culture. As the little, hold on one second. There you go. See? Sorry about that. I just had to. Someone asked me for a lighter. It's about the third time someone's asked me for that since my travels in Paris. Another thing, in Paris and in Malta, you can still smoke in the outside sections of restaurants. Now, in Australia, that just does not happen. There's some pubs where they have like little zones where you can smoke, but you're not allowed to eat in those sections. You're not allowed to eat or smoke within 3 meters of each other, which is kind of like a bizarre concept, because, like, hey, if you're a smoker and you don't care, or you're a non-smoker and you don't care, why, and the only seat available is in the smoking section, technically the restaurant has to refuse your service and your money. So that's a bit ridiculous. But Australia's a bit weird like that. It's a bit of an update on the Pansear account. I'm sitting on 27 right now. So yeah, as I mentioned in my last video, I guess I kind of rambled a bit, but now I've actually had time to think about how I want to do this. So basically, yeah, if you're in Sydney, I work in the CBD, so I'm more than happy. Basically, the lottery requirements are like, subscribe, and then leave a comment down below, and I will basically don't imagine I'll get too many takers, but it gets to the point where I don't have enough Pansears to give away. I'll make it like a lottery system. So yeah, obviously it's one special trade a day, but I'm not imagining many takers. I'm still quite a small channel, but yeah, that's the way. Obviously, I'm trying to get this channel started. If I can use a bit of a carrot of a Pansear, then hell, I'll do it, right? So, sitting on 27, I'm in Paris for a couple more days, so pretty ambitious. I'd love to get around 40 to 50. In the 8 days I was in London, I did not find one. So, although I'm in Europe for another week, I'm in London, and I don't imagine I'm going to find too many in that time. So one of the other reasons why I went a little bit quiet while I was walking down this alleyway was I think I walked down an alleyway full of prostitutes. I can't be sure, but it was maybe half a dozen ladies standing down this pretty small alleyway where, you know, ladies get dressed up, but like, you know, the whole handbag thing, it seems very much like Pretty Woman kind of vibes. I mean, hey, it exists everywhere in the world. Some places I've been are far more blatant than others. But yeah, I got a bit of a vibe, and yeah. So, I mean, that's what I'm hunting. You kind of just find them, which is kind of cool. Even when it's not like fire, like, you know, increased fire spawns. So you might have noticed, and this will help date the recording. There's a bunch of Oddishes around. So the Oddish event actually went live, well, yesterday evening for me, I believe. Right after Legendary Raid Hour, I believe was supposed to be, but that might have been for the US. Anyway, I'm actually not too sure. But anyway, I'm just gonna run away from this. I don't need this. Oh, and a couple macchiatos. Might be a macchiato nest. No, it's just weather conditions. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to the Paris 10 group. There were, you might have seen my last video, there were sort of 3 gyms right next to each other. And I sort of just wanted to wander over, try my luck. My French is abysmal. It's non-existent almost. I can barely say, sorry, I don't speak English. Sorry, I don't speak French. Do you speak English? I won't even try it on camera, on screen or recording right now, because I'm sure I'll offend any of my French audience. I'll shout out to them. They were really welcoming. They let me join. Fortunately, my phone was pretty run dry because I'd been traveling for 2 days straight, so I hadn't had a chance to sort of charge my battery pack. But it made it a bit. Yeah, basically they offered me a charger. They raided with me. I traded one of the guys, one of my Pansears. He gave me one of the unknowns. He actually went to Dortmund. Whether it was this year or last year, he was in Dortmund. Basically the German Safari Zone. Oh, just want to give a shout out to the submission for Sydney Safari Zone for 2020. I think that is an awesome idea. I know it'll be hard, like we're very hard pressed to get it just because of where we are in the world and being away from so much and having neighbours who have much larger populations, particularly a much larger gaming community. But it'd be amazing if we could get it, obviously. You know, me and my mate Johnny 4 Dots would naturally do a big sort of event for this. So very excited. Let's just see whether it's worth doing. Don't tangle with us, meh. So yeah, so you might have seen the in-game news. You can get like double Stardust from doing the rocket events. I don't believe my launch screen has the new image yet, but there's sort of these hints of what probably are like the rocket admins if you've played the main series games, coming to Pokemon Go soon. It seems like that's what that little cryptic tweets were about around files being hacked. I guess there were some people, myself included, that were hoping that that was perhaps a hint to a return, but no, naturally it's Team Rocket Grunts or admins, which is cool, but I was kind of hoping for something, you know, one of those, well, I guess you'd call him like a pseudo-legendary, because he's not a true legendary in the in the grand scheme of things, because given his stat distribution and the fact he has different, yeah, but he's, for all intents and purposes, considered a legendary because you can only get one of him during your main playthrough of the games, and he's a sprite encounter on the within the game. So typically you'd consider him like legendary like. I mean, we're already in the first week of October. We've had no news of what the Halloween promotion will be. It'd be great to be Darkrai. Retomb could be another selection for that, because he's a Ghost Electric, I believe, in his normal form. This is what I mean, guys. Like, they're kind of just everywhere on the map. I'm actually trying to find a different way around, because I don't really feel comfortable going down that alley, because the more I think about it, I'm pretty sure they were ladies of the night. I mean, hey, nothing wrong with that. Girls got to get paid, and as long as they're safe and they're not being coerced into it, people are entitled to do a job and get paid, right? It's not for me to decide. But yeah, obviously it's a bit sus if I walk down there twice. I've been in Singapore where people will literally I've walked down the street unknowingly because I'm a stupid tourist, and I've literally had like a woman grab me and try to pull me inside somewhere. It's happened in Thailand too. So yeah, already happened in 2 countries. I don't really want to make it a trifecta, so I'll avoid that street and wander around a bit. Excuse me. It's definitely gotten a bit cooler here, so it's about 10 degrees, 12 degrees cooler than Malta, where I was a couple days ago. Some guy just gave me a really sus look, so I'm heading over where people are, just because it's a little bit odd. I guess it's also I am speaking foreign language, so I'm talking a bit quieter now, but just because I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. Try to be respectful of cultures. But yeah, that was a bit unnerving. It could have been harmless. You could have been wanting just to ask for a lighter, like I have been a number of times already. But you never know. It's always best to err on the side of caution when it comes to these things, guys. Always stay safe. Always try to have an understanding of where you're walking, where you're going. Try to keep an eye out for the surroundings, just because, hey, you only have one life. Make the most of it. Another random thing about Paris that I guess is different to, I guess, a lot of other countries that I've been to, is that the pedestrian crossing lights are automatic. So like in Australia, even in London or many of the other countries I've been, like you press a button and that's what eventually will make the lights turn green for you. Here they just automatically make it part of the cycle, which is interesting. I guess there's enough foot traffic to justify it. Obviously it's a much larger city. It's interesting. And yeah, sorry for the sort of the spot of silence. I was just figuring out where I was going. As I said, always keep an eye out on where you're going. And let's just see. So I'll just wander around a little bit more. I might actually try to head over to the main street again. But yeah, so far it's been a good journey. Loving the Pansear account. Let's give it another go. 29. Not bad, guys. Not bad, guys. So yeah, a reminder. Subscribe, like the video, comment down below if you're based in Sydney, or if you just happen to be in Sydney, say in the next 3 months for a few days, and we can actually set up a time to meet. Yeah, let's trade, and we'll do it from there. So I think, hey, let's do it. And I'm gonna try and get more and more of these, and I've already had to buy a couple bag space extensions. I'll probably have to buy another one before I head home, but you know, I'll clear it out eventually, hopefully through some trades. And I'm still missing quite a few shinies, so for my friends out there, I may ask for a shiny for a Pansear. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. But anyway, that's sort of where we are right now. I can see where I am now. I know the way back to the hotel. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, comment down below, etc. And I'll catch you next time for our next Pokemon Go adventure. Maybe in Paris, maybe in London, maybe back in Sydney, who knows. Peace out.